On this episode of DC On Screen, we are talking all about DC Fandome, the Batman second trailer, sneak peeks of The Flash, Black Adam, Aquaman, and Shazam, right after these words from our mystery sponsors.
Need extra money for college? ISL Education Lending Scholarship Program provides $1,000 for college expenses. Registration is easy and no essay is required. Visit www.iowastudentloan.org/register to learn more. The scholarship is open to Iowa residents who are in high school and college students, as well as parents of those students. Register by November 30th for your chance at one of the 45 awards at www.iowastudentloan.org/register.
Welcome into DC On Screen episode 646. On this podcast, we share our honest opinions about the DC Comics multiverse on film and television. If it has been released, it is fair game, so beware of spoilers. I'm David C. Robertson, and this, the man who once got prison time after a botched castration in a cabin, Jason Goss.
They made a movie.
You gotta stop telling people you're a doctor. That's what I'm thinking.
That was the other incident.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Why are there so many botched castrations with you?
Can only talk about half of them.
Oh, God. Before we get into the news, I would like to remind you that you can go to DCOnScreen.com to find links to our Patreon, where $5 a month gets you access to exclusive content. And I do want to thank all of our patrons. It really is the best way to support the show. There's also a donate button and a link to our merch store if you'd like to support us in other ways. But as always, thank you for any support you can throw our way. Mm-hmm. I guess I should mention the $1 a month gets you every episode ad free, so you don't have to hear those mystery sponsors every week.
Mm-hmm. All
right, so look, man, we've seen the DC Fandome, and I would say probably 95% of it was a slog. That being,
feels exaggerated, but okay.
No, all of the people telling and talking and the puns and the stuff, and I'm like, just get to the announcements. Like, this thing could have been 20 minutes. Like, seriously.
No. Such is the woe of the last couple of years, or just meetings in general. This could have been an email. I feel like is your actual complaint.
Yeah, maybe. Just send me an email
just
with
a
the
newsletter
link to the sneak peeks and the trailers.
Now, I mean, it was cut from 8 to 4 hours, so
thank Christ.
That was solid.
Oh my God.
And honestly, I still think 90% was an exaggeration. I enjoyed at least 60% of what I just saw.
I don't know.
I mean, a couple hours of it were really good. Yes, there was some slog, but yeah, a couple hours of it really fun.
Yeah. So I get why they put the Batman stuff at the very end.
Because it worked last time.
Yeah, but we're not going to do that. We're going to talk about the Batman right up front.
Right. Let's just go ahead and pet that elephant in the room.
Yeah. So first of all, they showed some behind the scenes. Stop rubbing its trunk.
Being gentle. It's not sexual at all.
You don't even have a peanut. That's all it's groping for.
It has my hat.
They showed some behind the scenes, and I'll be damned if I'm not looking at Pattinson literally beating the shit out of somebody with a freaking baseball bat.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And the trailer shows us how he got that bat, too.
That's glorious.
I liked what they had to say, exploration of the gray areas. I was really digging what Reeves had to say, describing Pattinson's Batman as a reckless rock star in a decaying manner.
Mm-hmm.
That's awesome.
That was a good take.
I hadn't thought about that before, and I'm digging it.
Mm-hmm.
His control over his identity isn't there. He gets lost in the cowl.
Mm-hmm.
And hitting the grounded nature of year one, which I feel like, echoes a bit of Nolan's take. But this new trailer, man, so we get a bunch of cops right out of the gate running into this diner to arrest Riddler. He's got a question mark in his little coffee, his little latte or whatever you call it. I'm not up on coffee terms.
I don't know. Cappuccino, frappe. I can name a bunch of terms. I don't know what the fuck that is.
I'm loving this ramshackled, cobbled together bat signal.
Yeah, that's solid.
Very, very early days. I love that they're still going with the Nirvana tune.
Yeah.
I'm digging that.
Good song.
And I'm loving the fear is a tool when that light hits the sky. It's not just a call, it's a warning. I love that quote. It is really badass. I'm digging that they're not going for too much of an affectation on his voice. He's just kind of grumbling it a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
And when we see him fighting, like different shots of him fighting that same group of thugs from the first trailer. But when he slams that dude in the pole and electrocutes him in the neck, holy shit!
That was solid.
Now there's a bit in there where they've got Riddler. He says, "I've been trying to reach you," and Batman punches the glass and screams, "What have you done?" That was a little too Nolan for me. I'll be honest. That was I kind of went.
In the sense that you couldn't hear what the fuck he was talking or saying.
Yeah, no, I didn't know what he said until I watched it later on YouTube and had the captions on.
Yep. Yeah. Literally could not understand. I mean, I heard clipping in the fucking audio, for God's sake.
Yeah, it's like, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
Oh, God, we're doing this again. I'm very interested, like, because they've got this shot of him standing, I guess, in the Batcave, and he's got all these, things written out. Renewal is a lie. Mitchell, no more lies. Coulson, the sins of my father, ?
Yeah.
More indications in my mind that they're talking about Thomas Wayne, and that Thomas Wayne may have been involved in something.
Mm-hmm.
I love Colin Farrell's Penguin voice.
Apparently that man can do just any accent.
Yeah.
And very well.
And when he says to, like, when we're seeing all these awesome action shots of Batman just breaking heads, dude.
Mm-hmm.
And we hear Penguin say, "You're everything they say you, aren't you?" Like, oh my God, this is so great.
And what is it, like, calm down, sweetheart, or something?
Yes. After he grabs the bat from that dude.
Hold on, sweetheart. I mean, I could not, as an American, I could not do that accent any better than he did.
I don't think I could do it, period.
Not even going to try.
And we've also got this Riddler, like, it's the kind of Riddler I've always wanted to see in live action. Just this, dark serial killer type Riddler, actually make him a threat, for God's sake. Like, I've had enough of joke Riddler, like I get the fun of having him be the butt of the joke all the time, but
I mean, in some versions, he basically runs around telling dad jokes. So
yes,
I get that. I get wanting to make him that. But on the other hand, this take is like his jokes are fucking terrible, but he's frightening. So, okay, cool. Let's try that.
I mean, what's black and blue and dead all over? Just the way he said it, I was like, ooh, this is creepy as shit.
Yeah.
Favorite, like, okay, I skipped. I feel like I'm at the end of the trailer already. I have skipped every Selena Kyle moment, and there are many, and they are all wonderful.
Mm-hmm.
Zoe Kravitz, man, I have a huge crush on this woman. She was fantastic in High Fidelity on Hulu, and she looks to be killing it here. Everything about her says Selena Kyle to me. Like, I am totally in. I'm down. I'm with it. I'm hip. Tucka. I'm all over it. Let's do that.
Yeah, she's going to do great.
Favorite part of the trailer, though.
Mm-hmm.
One, Andy Serkis is just already killing it as Alfred. Already down. Yeah. Him, warning him there won't be anything left. And Bruce is like, I don't care about me. Like, I don't care about what happens to me.
There are also there are different Alfred energies that have been around for a while now, and he's got that Pertwee energy, where he's got a bit. You feel like if someone did invade, that motherfucker's going to take care of it.
Yeah,
he's going to throw down.
Yeah,
I don't think I'd mess with that Alfred.
So I'm totally down with this Alfred. He seems to have a little bit of everything I like in an Alfred. He's got the Pertwee. He's got the Michael Caine. I even saw a little bit of, Jeremy Irons, I feel like, in the little sliver that we got. I could see that character shining through. Favorite part of the trailer though, the freaking Batman chasing the Penguin. Penguin, I got you. Yes, I got you. I got you. And then the Batmobile flying out of those flames, ramming the Penguin. And
just fine.
Dude, that freaking upside down Batman walking towards Penguin as as the title pops in, slides in. It was so 90s, and it was everything I wanted. Looking at this trailer, I felt like I was watching a trailer for The Crow. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It felt so Crow to me, 90s, so goth. I totally feel like Reckless Rockstar in a Decaying Manor is exactly.
Yeah.
And that's not what I was even from the first trailer. That's not what I was expecting from this movie. But now I'm starting to see this picture a little more clearly, and it's holy shit, I would have lost it for this as a kid.
Yeah, that's a good point. I mean, just missing the soundtrack, really. A little Reznor, a little SDP. We're there. Yeah. And we haven't heard it. Maybe it is there.
It might be.
God, I'd love Reznor to show up on that one.
But what I've heard from Michael Giacchino, it sounds like old school, almost old school Elfman a little bit.
It does. It does. It's big. It's got that funeral march the entire time. It's going to be a good score for a lot of reasons.
Yeah. The first and foremost is Michael Giacchino.
Yeah.
And that brings us to, I feel like, the next big thing for me anyway. I will say Fandome was leaving the Batman for the last was a mistake for a couple of reasons. One, there's so much of the Fandome was, like I said, a slog. I was actually exhausted by the time we got to the Batman trailer, and I don't feel like I didn't feel like I had the energy I should have had. I was a little okay, let's just do this.
Not so much it's a slog in that sense. It's 4 hours or nearly 4 hours.
I know, but the other thing is
and you have to be staring at it the whole time because they just going next.
Yep.
Cutting it from 8 to 4 was good, but maybe 20-minute intermission next time would be also
absolutely
a good call.
But the other big, I feel like the other big detraction was that they played this freaking sneak peek of The Flash first. And I almost blew out my vocal cords screaming and cursing over this thing. Just hearing the music from the old Batman movie, that old, talking to Vicky Vale music, and then hearing Keaton say, "Tell me something." I was just shit. I was pounding my chair, I was just screaming obscenities and just I was beside myself. And what he said, if you hadn't seen it, he says, "Tell me something. You can go anywhere you want, right? Any timeline, any universe. Why do you want to stay and fight to save this one? You change the future and you change the past." And as this thing starts, we have, a cab show up and it's got two Barrys in the cab, one with longer hair and one with shorter hair. Mm-hmm. And the house is the old school 89 Wayne Manor, albeit a little worse for wear.
Mm-hmm. Not its best day.
And we have Barry pulling that giant switch, and I'll be damned. That shot was almost perfectly matched to the shot in the 89 Batman movie when Batman pulls into the Batcave with Vicky and gets out and he walks over to the big switch and pulls it to turn on the lights and all the shit in the Batcave. They did such a good job with it. Oh my God. It was everything I wanted almost. We see him at his childhood home. The suit looks badass. Screw you people who didn't like it because of set photos. You know how that works. That suit looked badass. We see the bloody cowl on the floor, the bloody Michael Keaton cowl on the floor, and the suit there laying in the background. We have long-haired Barry I believe, in a different suit, looking up at what I assume is Supergirl in some sort of containment unit. And then we have long-haired Barry caring for her. She's like laid out on a table. And we see, I'm pretty sure it's the long-haired Barry who's doing it, spray painting the Flash symbol on what appears to be one of Bruce's old costumes.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess that question is answered. It's not Red Death. It looks like it's just the other Barry. Maybe he got there without a suit. And we see Batman. We see, but not like just the back, just the silhouette. And that was almost enough. Like, I really wanted to see Keaton, but man, I was so excited.
Just the frame.
I was
just the frame will get me there.
And then we see long-haired Barry, and Supergirl, and Barry says, "Are you in?" Oh God! And yeah, it was fun to see Barry pulling the tarp off, long-haired Barry pulling the tarp off of the Batmobile, and they cut it just before you actually see the Batmobile. And he reacts, and we hear him react, and it's a funny moment. But my Lord, I loved the Batman trailer.
Yeah,
this one blew me away. It wasn't even a full trailer, like Ezra said at the beginning, and I was just beside myself.
Yeah,
like nothing else in Fandome hit me like that did, and it wasn't going to, apparently, because I'm a Michael Keaton fan. I want to see that shit come back a little bit. Not saying I don't want Ben.
I think I agree though, but it's mostly because it's like they use that little bit of time to confirm the multiverse.
Oh yeah,
and that's pretty special. I mean, and you know, it was also nice to really kind of see him in a suit and really just even the back of Keaton. And the voice, dear God.
Yeah. Like if I had really hair, it would be white.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like Moses on the Mount, you know? Mm-hmm. Like you can only see the back of Keaton.
It has not been deigned upon us to see the whole of him yet.
Yeah. Yeah. I have no tablets, but what I carry with me is in my heart.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, man. Let's get to the Black Adam, man. Just badass, right? Like, as much as I'm sick of hearing Rock say that the hierarchy of the DC universe is about to change.
Oh, I'm not sick of that yet.
I am so sick. I'm livid. I'm like, please stop saying it.
Yeah, I need more time. Not even close yet for me.
But the footage looks pretty badass. The animation is still a little wonky. Hopefully they'll spruce it up a little bit before the actual movie comes out. But some of it looks a little cartoony for me.
Yeah. Honestly, I'm good. But it just he is an absolute unit.
Yes.
In this.
Yes, he is.
Like, just, are you fucking kidding me? Is that a human? I'm concerned. I thought that was maybe a tiger under a hood. Yeah,
that early scene, them calling him forth. Holy shit, man. Like, it was the tone I wanted.
Yeah. You done fucked up. Shouldn't have brought him in.
Oh, yeah. The costume looked great. All the costumes looked great. Yeah. Aldous Hodge looked great as Hawkman. I loved seeing Brosnan talking about, like, man, I did 10 years of Bond. That doesn't compare to this. This is something else.
Agreed.
So, yeah. So far, it looks, grandiose on a budget is what I'm saying. I think it feels like so far, and I'm good with that for the most part. Like I said, I hope a couple of the effects are spruced up a little bit. But I mean, even if they don't, it still looks badass. It still looks pretty damn great.
Yeah, I could live with this quality if they just make a whole movie of it. I'll be good.
Yeah, and
also premiering on my birthday.
Ooh,
yeah. Happy birthday to me.
Happy birthday to Jason.
Mm-hmm.
Sticking with the Shazam family, this Fury of the Gods behind the scenes looked like a lot of fun. I saw Minotaurs, I saw Harpies and Dragons, I saw Helen Mirren and Lucy Liu. They looked badass. My God, those kids have grown.
Mm-hmm.
And just glad tidings all around, man. I'm happy to see all of that shit.
tidings.
I was very happy with
We
that.
got out of the Christmas theme for this movie.
Nah, man, it'd always be Christmas in my heart.
This feels more Halloween-y to me. But,
yeah.
Could just be that it's just this time of year right now.
Could be.
They also it's one of those sets where everyone who's on it, every time you see them, you're like, man, they're probably having a good time out there. Good job.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, I mean, I don't know what I don't know that I have too much more to say about it. Like, I do think it looks really cool. Like, I thought like a lot of the different scenery and stuff that they were showing. Like, I like that they're broadening the scope of the movie a lot. Like, we're going to like the realm of the gods and whatnot. Like, that seems really cool. And that artwork, whether it was, I don't know if it was CGI or if it was like concept art or whatever, but it looked badass either way.
Kind of felt like concept, but they're definitely going to take on some new backgrounds and expand the scope of it, and I'm there for it.
Mm-hmm. I'm digging it, and of course, Helen Mirren and Lucy Liu. I mean, good Lord, what more could you ask?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Mr. Mind, sure, but
give that time. Watch there be like 7 Shazam movies, and his entire story takes place in about a minute and a half, spread out across them, 12 seconds at a time.
That'd be funny.
Just at the end.
Zachary Levi's not even Shazam anymore. It's just like Asher Angel.
Yeah, just somebody accidentally steps on him later.
That would be funny.
That's the last episode.
That would be funny. Aquaman 2, man. Lost Kingdom. Or isn't that what's called? Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom. Looked, like the other one. They're like, oh yeah, we got up the stakes. Yeah, we
got wetter.
I gotta admit, they had some behind the scenes like of Orm and Aquaman running out into the ocean, and it just gave me serious like Apollo Creed and Rocky vibes.
Why?
Them like splashing because they were like splashing around in the ocean and shit. You've seen the Rocky movies, haven't you?
Not all of them.
That one of the movies, I believe is 3, ends in them like slow-mo running into the ocean and like splashing each other. And it may be one of the most homoerotic things I've ever seen.
Like worse than Top Gun?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It's hilarious. I mean, they're
funny.
like these 2 giant muscle-bound, purportedly straight dudes just like splashing each other in slow-mo. With like an 80s soundtrack over it. I mean, it's hilarious.
Hadn't added that to the catalog of scenes that hit that way, but I will. I don't know, man. I enjoyed what I saw there, though.
Yeah. But seriously, that Rocky scene is like a spiritual forefather of the slow motion male model gas fight in Zoolander.
Oh, I could see that.
It's hilarious. But yeah, they're like, oh, we're globetrotting. It's a globetrotting fantasy. And I'm like, yeah, the other one was, And the other one wasn't really my cup of tea so much. It wasn't really my bailiwick or whatever you want to say. Mm-hmm. So, I think Aquaman 2 is probably the least I'm excited about anything that they really pulled out here.
I don't know.
So,
I mean, I'm not... I'm excited. I just haven't seen much yet. I did like that they kind of hung a lantern on like, it's been like 4 fucking years since we did this? Or
Mm-hmm.
I mean, yeah, it has.
Yeah, it totally has.
You might as well reboot the franchise in some capacity.
Yep.
But no, just make another one, please.
By the way, I'm going to jump back really quick to The Flash, which is funny because I'm jumping back in time and The Flash does that. Mm-hmm. I meant to bring this up. I was just so focused. I was so focused on Fandome. I forgot about this little bit that came before Fandome. Mm-hmm. Barbara Muschetti, producer of The Flash, she was posting about the movie on Instagram, and one fan commented on the post and said that they were hoping that a Cavill cameo, a Superman Henry Cavill cameo, would wind up in the movie. And she liked it. She liked that comment, which is interesting. Usually liking someone's comment like that is usually kind of suspect. It's a little sus, as they say, for a filmmaker to like a comment like that. So fingers crossed, folks. I was honestly hoping for something to be said today, but man, they zipped right past that, man.
Yeah.
They ain't said nothing.
It was a Snyderless day.
It was. They didn't even show Ben in the Flash sneak peek.
No. If there was any like hope of it being a reveal of any kind, no.
Yeah. And speaking of a few days ago before Fandome, someone asked the director which Batman would appear in Batgirl, and his answer was the real Batman, the real one.
Oh, okay.
Whatever that means.
All right.
But for those of you who were very, very concerned, and I know there were some of you, and Fandome did say Batgirl will have red hair, so
and a cowl
and a cowl, yeah. So lay your fears to rest. We got an update on the Milestone stuff. Static Shock, that movie is still happening. It's still in development. I think they said they were still writing it, and there is a Dakotaverse animated movie in the works. So that's cool. I'm glad to see that stuff still coming along. I was kind of like, man, we haven't heard anything from Milestone since the last Fandome, but here we are.
I mean, they've started publishing, but other than that,
they started publishing. I meant like movie wise. We're DC on screen, Jason. On screen.
Okay, it's out there. Do you want me to film it?
just filming you leafing through a comic book.
Yeah,
sure.
Yeah, just roughly that.
Yeah, they're publishing for sure. Here was a thing that came out before Fandome that I was pretty interested in because I did not remember this being a thing. And when I looked into it, it's because it was announced in 2013, a good 2 years before we ever started this podcast. But Barry Sonnenfeld says that his Metal Men movie is still in development. They're still hammering out a script and working on it.
Bless his heart. Good luck.
Right? He says we're actively working on a treatment for that. For me, it's not so much a superhero thing as it is world building. If you look at the work I've done, whether it's the Addams Family, Men Are Black, Pushing Daisies, Schmigadoon, or a series of unfortunate events, it's all about creating a world, an unusual, slightly off-kilter, quirky, different kind of world. That's what I love doing. It's not specifically necessarily superhero, but even in Metal Men that I am developing, it's going to be a very specific kind of world. It's a real world because I always like things to be reality-based, but slightly with a tilt to that. So yeah, that's super interesting. I didn't even know it was happening, honestly. Like, I feel like I'm a bad podcast host, but like I said, they announced it like 2 years before we started, so I let myself off the hook a little.
That was not on my radar at all.
Yeah. I enjoyed the little Blue Beetle thing they had. We got to see the guy playing Jaime. Mm-hmm. And I know him from Cobra Kai. He's fantastic in that.
Oh, good.
I thought it was really fun how they were like, oh yeah, Latino family, like that superhero is going home and telling his family. That was fun. That sounds interesting. I really dug the concept art, and I really dug the fact that Cord Industries is like right over his shoulder.
Yeah.
That they didn't show a lot, but it got me a little jazzed for it. I'm like, you know what? That looks pretty cool.
Agreed. I liked the bet that or the confidence at least. God help them, the costume designers. After he bet that they were going to win the war of who has the best costume. But that seemed
a little superfluous. It's like, dude, don't do that.
That's putting a lot on somebody. But in all fairness, there's a lot of potential there with a Blue Beetle costume. Mm-hmm. You could really knock that shit out of the park.
You could, yeah. We didn't see a whole lot of the Superpets trailer, but I'll be damned what I saw. I loved.
Oh yeah, no. The wife walked through about that time and looked at it and was like, "We're gonna watch this, aren't we?" I was like, "No, this is gonna be a family adventure. Like, get prepared. We're gonna watch this several times."
I think it's funny to have Kevin Hart as Ace the Bat Hound. I love that he was pissing for so long. How much did you have to drink? I loved it. I loved every inch of that footage. I just, oh my gosh, that's
gonna be good.
I don't even know. Like, I'm excited for that. Patty Jenkins. Patty says Wonder Woman 3 is coming. Apparently, Lynda Carter, Patty, and Gal Gadot are all very excited about something they can't talk about. And that's what we know about it.
All right. Multiverse or something?
What? I mean, Lynda was in the last movie. So,
yeah, I know. I'm just saying.
If you'll recall.
Where are we going to go with that? And it's going to be post-Flash, so.
It will. Look, I've made no bones about it. I didn't care for the last movie. And with Patty's comments about how movies made for streaming don't even look like real films. They aren't even real movies. All that shit. Wholly ignorant. Got nothing for her. I don't want her back. I'm not excited about a Wonder Woman 3 in any regard at this point. I don't like Patty. Like, not,
I've
look, man.
I like her short of exactly that problem.
I tried to give her the benefit of the doubt because of Jeff Johns. Like maybe the whole magic rape or whatever we're calling it in '84 that I detested so much. Maybe that was the work of Jeff Johns. But yeah, now with her disrespecting her fellow filmmakers and shitting on another medium, yeah, she and Chris Nolan can kiss my ass and go away forever. I don't give a shit.
She is kind of in that little area of filmmakers who are just clinging on to this whole theatrical release thing that I get it a little bit, but dude, I don't think that's it.
Yeah. Well, she can say streaming isn't real film.
The people releasing streaming films would probably disagree, but
in 5 years when she's, directing exclusively for Crackle, we'll see what she says. And it will be Crackle.
It just comes across as a very haughty thing to be concerned about, given the times. Like it's almost feels delusional in a way.
Mm-hmm. It's tone deaf for sure.
Tone deaf is definitely a good word for it.
Anyway, that's what we got on movies, and we're gonna hit a quick break, if I can say it.
Mm-hmm. You'll get there,
and we'll come back with all the television and animated shit. Hell yeah, there was some good stuff. And we're back. We're going to start off with Peacemaker. Man, I really, really loved the
eagle
footage they showed.
The
eagle was, my God.
He's hugging me. I don't want to move.
The eagle, well, like when they were doing the slow motion shot of them walking, the eagle was like cracking me up, dude. Like the eagle's just like slow moing with them,
Yeah.
Laughed my ass off at the 20% ass hat. We had to change it at Ellis Island bit.
Yeah, that was good.
Oh God. I loved seeing Vigilante. He looked like a lot of fun. I don't know if we talked about this when they put out there was some behind the scenes shots that came out a couple weeks ago or so. I don't even know. And just all over the place, I'm seeing these people talking about somebody's a fan of the Green Ranger. And I'm like, you assholes, that's Vigilante. Vigilante has looked like that since the damn 70s. Like, stop, sticking your 90s dick up. We know that you aren't learned enough
that is the old style, though.
To conceive that something happened before the Power Rangers. Mm-hmm. But by God, it did. Oh, it's like these people. It's like the people who never grew up just watching MCU and never watched a movie before. I'm like, and they think Marvel did everything first. No, they didn't. And the Power Rangers didn't do everything first. Vigilante came way before. Shut up.
Yeah,
I love what Vigilante looks like. I love that they're doing Vigilante. I can't wait to see. It looked like they had great chemistry. But yeah, that eagle, man. And I did love the butt baby thing. He thought butt babies were real.
That one didn't crack me up as much. I think, and as much as I enjoy John Cena's comedy, like, it's not that he doesn't make me laugh. I think what's going to make me laugh watching this actual show, though, is going to be the reactions to him, not so much him.
Yeah.
Like, even in the, Brady Bunch interview that was on this thing, like, because apparently you can't have an actual Zoom session with anything that James Gunn's involved with without it having kind of a Brady Bunch feel to it, because he does nothing but ensemble shit. But even in this one, like, if you watched him, up top, he just sat pretty still for most of it. He plays the straight guy. Like, that's kind of why he's going to be funny in the show, is he's going to play the straight line.
And I love the thing from the footage that was echoing what they were saying in the ensemble interview. They showcased him and that woman. I can't remember her name. Sorry. Where she was talking about she gets him, and she in the trailer she's telling him, like, look, man, you got to drop this shit because otherwise people would probably like you. Oh yeah.
Like you're an asshole to cover, but if you stop, people might actually like you. And even then they talked about it, and you could see James Gunn get excited about it. But sorry, I don't remember her name or the character's name. It was dropped once, and I do not remember. But like, that's going to be a fun dynamic. It really will be people reacting to him that I'm going to like more.
Yeah,
that's going to be like the parts that make me actually LOL.
Yeah, and to be clear, it wasn't the fact that he said something about a butt baby. It was the fact that he sold it for me. He so earnestly said, I thought I was a butt baby until I was 14. Yeah. Just, that's what got me. He was so earnest.
Other than the eagle. I mean, it was earnest. Because let's be clear. Peacemaker he's dumb. Like, yes, that is a dumb man. Talented. Not a thinker. He also, like, they're going to portray him as troubled, and I get it. That scene where he's with his dad for a second, though, that was one of the moments where, they're gonna add some real heart to this show. Gotcha.
Yeah, Dad, get my phone. He's hugging me.
Well, before, when he's like sitting at the coffee table and he's calling him whatever, pansy or whatever. That's gonna be the whole ass thing. Yeah. Absolutely. We're going to end up actually caring about this piece of shit, is what I'm saying.
I hope so. Well, that's what I'm looking for.
We're going to end up caring about this.
He's got a long way to go after what he did to Flag.
Well, and Flag, and then he was really about to kill Ratcatcher. I mean, it's a long road, but I feel like that's where we're going with it. We're going to actually have to care about him, and then we're going to find out that he has a bunch of backstory. Because, lo and behold, there aren't mustache-twirling villains in the world. Yeah. It could be a really fun show. I'm into it.
Yeah. I'm digging everything I'm seeing so far, honestly. Over to Titans. The big takeaway here from Fandome, Season 4 is happening. Which is dope, because I've liked all of Season 3 so far.
I am halfway through the finale right now, and it was really good so far.
Okay. Cool. Doom Patrol, Negative Man throwing up that larva or that parasite. Yeah. What do you do when you expel a parasite? Give it a name? Oh, Jesus. It's so good. Show's so crazy. I got to see another, of those butts,
Yep.
From whatever it was, season 1, I guess.
The butts. Yep.
And their Season 4 is announced, and I'm so excited about that. I am so excited. Doom Patrol is my favorite DC show.
Yeah, I would like them to announce Season 17.
Absolutely. At this point. It is so good and so weird.
Yeah.
Stargirl, they showed like a thing for this last couple episodes or whatever it was. Man, it looks so good. It's been a really good season. Not as good as the first season, I don't think, but it's been solid as hell. I really like Eclipso as a villain.
I haven't gotten started on that one yet.
I know.
It's happening very shortly, though, for me.
Yeah, it's a solid season so far.
Just got to tie up a couple loose ends and we're on it.
Mm-hmm. And I will say this as excitedly as Grant Gustin appeared when he said it. Barry's getting gold boots in season 8 of The Flash. Man, he didn't look enthusiastic at all.
He looked more... here's the funny part. Did you watch the outro where there was a bunch of people like thanking the fans?
Yeah.
That was the most sincere. Like, that looked sincere. Like him just thanking the fans. Everything before... It felt like he was supposed to be like asleep in his trailer, and they were like, "Oh no, we didn't tell you. You have to do this thing."
Yeah.
No,
and
I'm sorry.
Candace
Like,
Patton,
no, you don't get lunch. You stand in front of this camera and say these lines that we didn't tell you about before. And, oh no, you're not getting paid for this. Here you go.
Candace Patton didn't seem interested at all at the beginning. Like, she didn't seem like she was. When she was doing like the first couple of news flashes or whatever, she was just like dead. And then like as it went on, she got more enthusiastic. I think somebody was like, "Hey, kick it up a little bit. Act like you're happy to be here."
Maybe she grew into it though. She did. As it went, I was really happy to have her as one of the interstitials.
Yeah, she wound up pretty good. By the way, I bitched about this last year that Tiffany Smith wasn't involved. And she pretty much hosted the entire Fandome this year. And I was like, yes, because she's actually a fan. And you can tell she's a fan. You can tell she's like just giddy to be, doing
involved.
Any of this shit.
Yeah.
So like the fact that they didn't use her last year, I was like, what the hell are they smoking? So thank you for fixing that, Fandome.
Yeah.
Cut about 2 hours off again. Rick Cosnett, outside of Fandome, said that he is returning for season 8 of The Flash.
Sweet.
You remember that guy.
Mm-hmm.
Good old Eddie Thawne.
Yep.
And we got, again, outside of Fandome, we got our first look at Despero from the Armageddon storyline. The big crossover event they're doing in The Flash to open the season. And the photo we have is, this is the guy playing him is the guy that played Vincent Van Gogh in Doctor Who. If you remember him. And I'll be damned, he looks like a human in a costume, and he's got some spiky hair. But Eric Wallace does say that as in reference to how he looks, your eyes can sometimes deceive you. And of course, we know Despero has powerful psychic abilities, so he could be just screwing with the way people are seeing him. Not too concerned about it. I mean, yeah, I want to see Purple Finhead, but
yeah, he's gonna turn into Purple Finhead. Just give it
I would imagine
some Trigon King Shark hybrid at some point.
So Batwoman had a pretty weird 70s style trailer that was
odd.
Yeah, it was real weird, but whatever. Her and Alice working together for some reason. Cool.
Yeah, I don't know why they went that way with it, but I was still excited about the stuff that's coming up, but
yeah, it was weird. It was a weird trailer.
Yeah, a little bit.
And earlier this week, we got Killer Croc photos. And, dude, he looks better than he did in Suicide Squad. Like a full-blown movie, I feel like. He looked dope.
Kind of agree. I mean, we'll see how he is when he's moving, but still. First take, yeah, pretty good.
Over to Naomi. They gave us a short scene. Looks very well shot. Definitely happening in the DC universe. She's literally running out to go get like pictures or something of Superman. And I guess her powers overtake her or something. She passes out, just kind of stays awake just long enough to see Superman fly above her.
Yeah.
And that's really all we got. I'm interested. It looks good. It doesn't look like a CW show, as many people will say. I
mean, she's a fresh character as far as I don't even know what her powers are, and I've read the books where she was introduced.
That's impressive.
She's not fully described yet. There's extra dimensional qualities to her, and they're in the current Justice League books. There are extra dimensional battles happening, and Batman doesn't quite know how to wield her. It's She's part of the Justice League at the moment.
That all sounds really dope.
But they're not entirely sure what to do with her. And also, she kind of, because of the extra dimensional part, can lose her powers at times. And I don't know. I think that's what they were getting at in the trailer there. It was like she can kind of come in and out of it.
Yeah.
It's going to be interesting.
That is. That's interesting.
She's good in the books, though.
All
I'm
right.
looking forward to it.
Real quick, they showed us some. They just look like shots from Batwheels. Gorgeous designs, but I don't know. I don't know what to make of it.
That was like the thing I was least interested in the entire time.
I was a little more interested in Batwheels than Wonder Woman 3 for sure.
I mean, the couple of moments where there was a blank screen between things were better for me.
Well, I was hoping we would get some of the voice cast and stuff, but we didn't.
No, nothing. Just nothing.
It was weird.
And I'm still hopeful for the show, to be sure. But
yeah,
all I got was like a couple pictures of hopefully something for 12 seconds.
Yeah,
and it might be something my daughter likes because apparently she's obsessed with cars right now.
Oh, okay.
The movie, God help me. Fuck that soundtrack, by the way.
What's wrong with the soundtrack?
Oh God, faux country bullshit.
I don't even I haven't seen it enough. I saw it once in the theater and I was like, I've seen Cars 2 like piecemeal like 25 times because there for a while my nephew and niece were super into it.
Yeah, been there.
Yeah. So I'm excited because Pennyworth is getting a season 3 and it's going to be on HBO Max. And I'll finally be able to watch it because it'll be on HBO Max early 2022. And
the
apparently
second and third things you said, that was what I was excited about.
Yeah. And apparently there's going to be a 5-year time jump between season 2 and 3.
Yeah.
So that's neat. I like when shows do that.
Mm-hmm.
So I haven't seen any of Pennyworth. So I'm very excited that it'll be on HBO Max and that I'm going to be able to watch it finally.
Mm-hmm.
Because it looks like something I'm down for. Is like all 60s and spy shit and Alfred being a badass. So
I'm into it. It was just hard to access for the moment. And there was a lot going on, so we didn't get around to it.
That's right. For Sandman, they unveiled Gwendolyn Christie as Lucifer. Looks fine. I kind of hope to see her in action, honestly, but we didn't. So
yeah, her and Morpheus look fantastic.
They do.
God, looking forward to that.
Injustice, man. I am not quite feeling this one. I don't think. I'm not quite feeling this movie version. It feels a little stilted.
I don't know. I mean,
I feel
they were at least very fluid about the main problem of the whole series.
Yeah. So we'll see, man. I'll eventually get around to watching it. They just showed some, if you know the basic premise of Injustice. I mean, you know what we're getting,
Yeah. I mean, the story's written. We're just gonna do a version of it.
Yeah. They showed a clip of Aquaman King of Atlantis, which is apparently already streaming on HBO Max. I didn't even realize that. It looks pretty delightful. It looks really silly. I laughed when Mera told him, like, if you don't come back with Ocean Master, they're gonna think you killed him. And he's like, I know, and not killing him is the worst part. Just it made me laugh. However, the musical part of it, I was just like, okay.
Yeah, I don't know. That didn't hit me.
Yeah, I was like, They showed I guess a trailer from this Catwoman animated film, Catwoman Hunted.
Mm-hmm.
If I'm being honest, looks pretty awful. The dialogue was super cheesy, and I just don't like the style of it. It's just not my cup, man.
I was more interested there than before. Yeah.
That's coming out February 8th.
Mm-hmm.
And then they announced a whole bunch of animated movies. Constantine House of Mystery.
Yep.
Which is apparently a bunch of animated shorts centered around Constantine and Matt Ryan is coming back, so I'm down with that. They also announced Green Lantern Beware My Power, Battle of the Super Sons, which sounds really cool. And the thing that actually weirdly got me most excited, Teen Titans Go and DC Superhero Girls Mayhem in the Multiverse.
Yeah.
And I did really enjoy, because they at some point they had like Teen Titans Go Robin and quote unquote serious Robin, like kind of going back and forth. It was a lot of fun. I don't know why I enjoyed that, but I did.
No, I'm into it.
I'm immature, I think.
We most certainly are, but it's okay.
I was honestly hoping for a little more from My Adventures with Superman, because I feel like we just got like 3 more stills than we did last year.
That sounds about right.
But I mean, still looks fine. Looks fun.
Yeah.
I loved the Harley Quinn animated series intro, I guess. Like the actual sneak peek was just like animatics, and to me, I was like, that's boring to me.
Yeah, I mean, interesting in the sense that they had like production codes in the top right and all that. But
yeah,
what cracked me up was I think this was the meta joke, was they spent all that time in animation on actually doing the intro and then just showed us animatics.
Yeah. She's like, Harley Quinn coming to you from Starro's beehole.
Yeah. That was a good intro. Yeah.
And she just bitched about how slow animation
this takes forever while she's being animated perfectly. And then they're like, this is what may be coming up. And then they show us stuff.
And then King Shark is like, the hard drive they gave me looked like sushi, so I ate it. The hard drive is wireless, and it is very much still inside me.
You passed it? No.
I love Ron so much. I love their King Shark so much.
Yeah, he's goddamn delightful.
He's fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
They gave us a Young Justice Phantoms trailer. I have not seen a trailer this bad since the 90s.
Oh no, it has nothing to do with the
actual content.
Yeah, the content's great. The narration is just, I don't know who made that choice.
I don't know what that guy thought he was doing.
But stop it.
It was real bad.
Stop it right now.
But yeah, otherwise it looks, appropriately epic for a Young Justice season.
Yeah.
Look forward to seeing it.
Mm-hmm.
What I look forward to more in some capacity, Batman Caped Crusader. I knew I started like my little red flags, my alarm bells started going off when Bruce Timm said it's more BTAS than BTAS.
Mm-hmm.
And he starts talking about like, oh, it's going to be more violent. It's going to be, there's so many things we couldn't do. I'm like,
Bruce gets to do. It's going to be more adult.
Yeah. I'm like, Bruce gets to do what he wants to do. So titties.
That's a real thing that might happen.
Yeah. Yeah. It's Bruce Timm. Look up Bruce Timm art. You will see what we're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
Go look up, Justice League Gods and Monsters, and you will see what we're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, I dug the idea. The Bruce is the mask, low tech at first, slowly introducing shit, reconfigured roles. From before trust has been earned. And I love that he used his 1940s pitch, Strange Days. Or his 1940 short film for the 80th anniversary, Strange Days, as a pitch. Heavy on the German expressionism, timeless 40s. And, obviously it's good that he says representation. The representation on the show is more modern. Everything he said sounded fantastic, except for the Bruce gets to do what he wants to do.
Yeah.
Because traditionally...
Scary.
That means there's going to be weird sex stuff that doesn't, seem okay or right. There's going to be weird sexism because, say what you want, Bruce is pretty sexist, I think. Or I feel like he is.
I don't know. I'm not fighting you on that. Yeah. I feel like that's probably the case. I don't know. It may end up being a lot more fun. And the shorts were fun.
Mm-hmm. Could
just be sticking to that. But Bruce Timm at this point just worries me. He makes me nervous.
Yeah. And I've just got 2 more things, really. Suicide Squad killed the Justice League.
God damn, sounds good.
It looks great. The bit at the bit at the end with Penguin was a lot of fun.
Mm-hmm.
Where there's like, no, he's getting up, he's running, zap him again. He's just laying on the ground getting zapped.
Mm-hmm. Well, my favorite part is King Shark trying to participate. No, he's still down. You know.
Yeah.
That was good.
And
also, the game
Gotham
just looks good.
Yeah, it does. It does. So does Gotham Knights.
Yeah.
And there we're getting Court of Owls, and you know, I'll be honest, a little tired of Court of Owls. It was like Scott Snyder did a thing, and Greg Capullo did the thing with him, and everybody was like, "Damn, they're cool. Let's put them in everything." And it's like I'm feeling about the Court of Owls kind of like I felt in like late '90s about Wolverine. I'm just like, okay, he doesn't need to be everywhere
now. Okay,
yeah.
Gotcha.
They even did a thing. I think it was. I want to say it was in. I don't remember. There was a bit where like Xavier had left the mansion and Scott was in charge. It was like Scott and Emma Frost were in charge of the mansion in the X-Men books.
But okay.
Yeah. And at the time, Wolverine was in like every friggin' book. Mm-hmm. There were 3 or 4 at least X-Men books, and Wolverine was a team member in every one of those teams, and he was an Avenger at the same time. And there's a great bit where like a whole bunch of the X-Men are standing around Scott's desk just yelling at him about different problems in the mansion. And they hung a lantern well where Wolverine's like, Scott, I appreciate your confidence in me, but I can't be everywhere at once.
Fair enough.
And that was the last time I enjoyed an X-Men book.
And
seriously.
I closed it, didn't finish that issue, and bounced.
I finished the issue, and I read several more after it, but man. I'd been waiting on them for a while by that point anyway.
Oh, it happens.
Yeah.
Go through periods.
Well, I think my primary issue with X-Men came to me when I realized, if they were real, I would agree with registration. I don't think I would be for the X-Men. Because there's some solid points with, not knowing who these living weapons are. I mean, I get the
I go both sides of it. And there's a part of me that would like to be the Iron Man side, where it's like, listen. We should probably register everyone. But if you let me do it, I can do it with some discretion.
Right.
And then there's a part of me that cracks up when, like, the other side is Captain America, who's like, no. These people have the right to, exist how they are. And there's a huge part of me that agrees with that. But then there's another part of me that's like, but you were injected with serum. Like, you're not even who you originally were. And that's fine. But that's a whole different argument by itself. Like, does it matter who you originally were or who you became? And in that case, if you're like an Iron Man who was originally just a dude, super smart, and became Iron Man with all this technology, like, do we hold him to account?
Yeah.
Do we hold Captain America to account? It's a nice philosophical area to play with.
Yeah. No, it's a sticky wicket.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not going to sit here and say that my side is the correct version.
No.
And
the real answer is, what the fuck were the Eternals doing the entire time?
Right. I'd hate to be like, hey, guess what? You don't get to have privacy because you were born a mutant. I would hate to be that guy.
Oh yeah, no.
At the same time, I'm like, hey,
that rankles me.
You blew up a school because you got upset.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah, that part's a real thing too.
Yeah. So anyway, this is I'm done. You think you're done? How are you feeling after this fandom?
Yeah, pretty excited about most of it. I mean, nothing absolutely knocked my dick in the dirt.
Yeah. Well, Flash did for me.
Flash did. Yeah. But yeah. I'm trying to compare it to last year.
Yeah.
And I only say that because after all that time, the Snyder trailer or teaser or whatever it was at the time was pretty extraordinary. And then after all, after almost no information, seeing the Batman, I guess we're going to call that teaser or trailer one. They've mixed up their verbiage a lot, but seeing that the first time, that really did, sit me down.
Mm-hmm.
This year, there were just clips of things that really worked extraordinarily well.
Yeah, in some ways, I feel like it feels like they were maybe less prepared somehow this year.
I don't know. In certain ways, I think they were better prepared. Like,
yeah, in certain ways.
The celebrity intrusions, probably a good call. All these little flashback things, like the Smallville section, was actually interesting, fun. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, that saying goodbye to Supergirl thing was better than the last 2 seasons.
Yeah. It honestly, like, watching that group of people, I would go be a caterer on that set. I think I'd have a good time. Could I apply for grip?
Yeah, that kid that plays Jordan on Superman and Lois. They were doing the little tour of the Kent house.
Oh yeah,
and I just kept feeling like, dude, somebody needs to slip him some weed or something, calm his ass down. He is, woo boy, he's all over the place.
Just an excitable dude.
I know, but got my nerve up. You know what I mean? Like, I was like, kid. Okay, you're showing us a piano. It ain't that deep. He's like flopping his arms around, slapping his hips and shit. I'm like, what are you doing, man? Calm down.
Yeah.
But no, I get it.
It did crack me up though, like former theater kid bullshit, like just the hiding shit in drawers. Like, oh, this is my drawer, and then even the note, like, do not remove.
Yeah.
Elizabeth.
Yeah. What was I gonna say? I was gonna say something. Oh, here's what pissed me off the most of anything. All right.
Good end note. What made you unhappy about it?
This made me infuriated. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
They spend just an excruciating amount of time with Jim Lee talking about how he recreated that iconic Perez panel, which I've got on my wall.
Mm-hmm.
And they're like leading up to what it could mean. And as he's saying it, they bleep them all out. And they're like, oh, well, he doesn't want to talk about it. Dude, this is Fandome. Talk about it. Or don't bring it up. Like, why were you guys doing all this bullshit leading up to Fandome?
They bleeped him out. And then the, we'll call it interviewer in this case, like, looked and said, like, there are other people here, right? And, oh, yeah. Like, that was a serious... That was a tease.
It was, yeah. I mean, obviously that was all scripted, but I don't know, man. It just like you spent all this time telling me what you did. You spent all this time like drawing this shit and putting it up and making everybody like wonder, like, oh, well, we'll find out at Fandome, and then we didn't find out at Fandome what the hell they're actually doing.
Oh,
that's my point.
Gotcha.
Like,
well, within context, I thought it was just. I thought it was more like this is a nice tease since we're already here, and I didn't catch all the stuff before about we're gonna reveal this.
Yeah, like it's just like, oh, what are they doing? And it's Crisis on Infinite Earths.
Mm-hmm.
And he had a picture. He one of the things he drew was Polka Dot Man in the freaking Star Row over in the corner. So I'm wondering, are they going to announce like a Crisis on Infinite Earths movie? Like, is this tying into the multiverse aspect of like the film and television stuff? Like, what are they doing? And then like he says stuff that they bleep out, and they're like, oh well, they piss me off. I'm like, just say it, piece of shit. Don't bleep it out. Don't do that. I don't know, man. I just didn't like it. It made me angry.
Yeah,
it brought me down. It felt cheap.
Yeah, I could see that.
Anyway, that's it. That's all. I was mostly excited. I mostly enjoyed the good things I saw, and it took too long to get there, but
I mean,
my ass hurts.
Nah, I'm in a good chair. I was good.
My ass hurts and it's sweaty.
I mean, 4 hours adds up.
I'm like that scene from News Radio where Jimmy has all the employees come and to have like a powwow in his office, and there are no chairs, and he's like, "No, I want everybody to sit down on the floor," and they all sit down, and Jimmy sits down in his chair behind his desk. And then Phil Hartman's like, "Jimmy, point of order." "Yes, Bill." "My ass hurts."
That's a good line.
And they can throw a few more ideas around, and then Bill throws his hand up. "Yes, Bill." "Jimmy, my ass still hurts." Oh, God. Yeah. My ass hurts, DC. I'm going to say this, and certain people are going to be annoyed by it. I do think
this will be fun.
I do think Fandome suffered a little for not having any Zack Snyder or anything. I do.
Oh, sadly, yes.
It's just the truth. I won't go into it anymore. We know what we want. We know we want Justice League 2 and 3.
It would have been a nice kind of special reveal. Any part of Snyder would have been a nice reveal, but it's not there.
Yeah. They didn't even have Ben in the Flash thing. I mean,
yeah, I know. But
man,
John Lennon, Ezra explained before that it was not ready yet.
I know. Just a still of Ben and Keaton in the same place. Oh my God.
Yeah. Would
have broke the internet.
Kind of. I honestly, for all the content they had for 3 and some change hours, I probably would have left it out too if I were them. I
would have stuck it in and left out some of that fan art.
But honestly, the fan art took up like 2 minutes altogether.
Yeah. And that shot would have taken up like 2 seconds.
I know, but it would have opened up a whole new can of worms. Like, I kind of get why they don't do these things.
I know. But I would have literally been walking around with a pair of tongs trying to pick my dick up.
I understand.
If that shit happened. That's what I'm saying.
I understand, but that's the problem with it. I get it. I want it too.
They want to save it for like the second trailer or some shit.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm just grousing now. Good day. Some good announcements happened. I'm mostly very pleased. And if you have nothing else, then I'll bid the audience adieu.
I'm with you. I'm going to go rewatch several trailers.
Yeah, me too. Well, thank you for listening. If you haven't, for some reason, subscribe. Get jiggy with us on the what is it, like twice a month or so we do now. If there's more news, we'll do more. And until next time, keep some DC on your screen. Our intro music is by Jason Goss and Michael Shackelford. Michael's band, Galactic Engineers of Magnetic Sounds, or GEMS, can be found on SoundCloud and Bandcamp. Visit DCOnScreen.com to find our Patreon, merch, contact information, and every episode of the show for free, including crossovers we've done with other podcasts. DC On Screen is a maladjusted production. For more from me and Jason, including sketch comedy, vlogs, parodies, and our improvised web series Hey Guy, visit maladjusted.tv.